Welcome to the Backline hosted by Maimuxic. I'm so grateful to be here, y'all. This is our debut episode of the Backline. Now, if you are not familiar with me, my name is Maimuxic. I am a producer, an engineer, a songwriter, a visionary, a creative, an artist, just like everybody you're about to hear on this episode of the Backline. This here is a special show for me. If you're familiar, I host a show called Uptown Sounds that plays Monday through Sunday on Sonic Scout Radio. And that show is a show that is predominantly based upon my love of R&B, hip-hop, pop music. And in that show, I held a special segment called The Backline, where I played any and every genre that really spoke to my heart, that really spoke to me, that I fell in love with working at a very, very special place to me called the Flint Local 432. And this place exposed me to music from every genre. Every single genre you could imagine, music that I had never experienced before, music that I didn't know had its own category, music that I didn't know was so closely related to everything that I had grown up loving. And it spoke to my heart and my soul the exact same way as the music that I had always heard growing up. So as we created and crafted Uptown Sounds, we knew that we wanted to set apart a special segment that would show love to all of those artists. 3 or 4 songs per show where we just gave a special spotlight and highlighted artists from different genres that maybe the audience that listens to a lot of the music played on Uptown Sounds had maybe never been exposed to. Expanding love and joy of music, because as we know, music is just a very special thing that brings people together. And that's what happened. The Backline was such an important segment to the show that my listeners over on Uptown Sounds never let me go a week without it. And if it was a week or 2 weeks that we did not have the Backline, I was flooded with questions and just people wanting to know. Has this thing gone away? Is it still here to stay? And the love of the Backline has reached such a level that it came time that we gave this its own show and its own special highlight of artists, a full deck of artists from a plethora of different genres. On here, you will hear punk, you will hear rock, you will hear metal, you will hear alternative, indie, folk, blues, jazz, country, anything and everything. This radio show is based upon my love for music. And I want to thank every single one of y'all for tapping in to the Backline, for showing love to the Backline, for going on this journey with me. This show will continue to expand and grow as we do. This right here is such a special episode because this is our pilot right here. This is the one that's going to show us and teach us. This one sets the tone. All right? So all of my listeners out there, if you're not familiar with me, I give y'all jobs, all right? I give y'all jobs and I tell y'all things that I need y'all to do in order for this thing to grow to where we know it will be one day. One thing about your girl, Maimuxic, is that I am going through the process right along with you guys. All of my artists out there, all my creatives, all my humans out there who are growing and learning and experiencing things one day at a time. I am in the same boat. I am going through the same journeys. I am experiencing the same things as you are. So you will always hear, you will always be let in on as things grow and expand and how we grow and expand together. So all of my listeners out there, I want y'all to tap in to this pilot episode of The Backline, all right? Let me know, what is it that you want from The Backline? What do you want to see? What do you want to hear? Who do you know would be perfect for the backline? What are some of the things you want to hear from our guests? What are some of the segments that you want to have? This show is for us. Everything that I do is about community, and the backline is no different. But you know what? I want to start things off the right way. There are amazing artists out there, so many incredible, amazing artists that I am so grateful that I'm able to know and spend time with and learn from and hear from. And that's what this show is about. So we gonna kick this thing off the right way, all right? And we gonna kick it off with a joint that just makes me feel like I wanna go and have a party. All right. It brings me back to the 2000s, to those years where I was a young kid, preteen, growing up, and all I knew was to have fun, man. Kicking things off on the very first edition of The Backline is Skitchfall, and this is their song, The Sad Party Song. Such a great song, such a great song. Big shout out to Skitchfall. And listen, now that we got everything out the way, one thing you will know about your girl Maimuxic, if you are not familiar with me, is that, look, I like to keep things light. I like to keep things fun, so you will always hear me joking, laughing, kikiing, if you will. And you know what? What I want this show to really be is an extension of love from different cultures, from different styles, from all different things merged into one, where we can all just come together and enjoy great, great, great music by great, great artists and great, great people. All right. So one thing you will always know from me, hey, I can only be me. So we gonna bring all of that same style, that same flair, that same energy, that same everything that we got over there at Uptown Sounds, and we gonna bring it over here to the backline, because that's what the backline is about. The backline is about exposing everybody to the greatness that music is. So big shout out for bringing us in, Skitch Fall. Y'all make sure y'all tap in with those young men. They are incredible. They are fun. They are that band, that punk band that gives that energy. And if you knew, let me give you a little bit more background. So as I expressed in my opening segments, if you will, the Bacline is something that we came up with as a way to pay homage to this venue, a venue that really in a lot of ways saved me as I was coming out of high school. You know, I had gotten into college. This is around 2017, 2018. So at this point, you know, I'm just an 18-year-old kid and I don't know what I'm doing with my life, but I know that I love music. And so I go to a very special place to me called my community college. I'm a community college kid, all right? I'm down there at the community college and I'm going through a program called the Music Technology program. And my professor is a man by the name of Dr. Bill Witham. And so in this program, after, I want to say your first year, when you get into your second year, you're able to do an internship. Now, somehow, some way, my guy, I love this guy. If I ever see him again, I'm going to hand him a suitcase with a bunch of money in it just for what he did for me. He went on and let me do the internship like my first year. I don't know why. I don't know how. I don't know, what went into that. But I just know I wasn't supposed to be able to do it when I did it. And that was a very special day that changed my life, that changed the trajectory of my life. And it's a very incredible thing that I believe God does these things where he's like, hey, no, I'm not letting you skip this one. This one is too important. And I'll paint the picture for you as I do. So please sit back. If you're enjoying the Bacline right now, have a seat, kick back. We got to chat a little bit. So picture this. College kid. It's a day. I've done about half of my classes. Only maybe have one class left. I don't want to be at school anymore. I'm ready to go home. So what do? I take off on the expressway and I head to my grandmother's house. And at her house, I'm sitting there with her. I'm sitting there with my sister. Everybody's asking me why I'm not at school. I come up with an excuse. Oh, class was canceled. Now, my story went downhill very, very quickly when I got a call from my professor, Mr. Dr. Witham, as I've spoken about, saying, hey, you coming to class? What are we doing? What are we doing? Come to class today. Something special happening. And I'm like, I can't make it today. Not gonna be able to be in. So sorry. He's like, no, come to class today. We got a special guest coming to talk to the class. This is important. I need you here for this day. So now I got to come up with a story as to why I got to go back to school and go to the class that I told everybody was canceled. So hop back on the expressway. I head down back to the school. I'm running in a class. I maybe make it with maybe 1-2 minutes left. So I'm standing in the very back of the class. And in the very front of the class is a gentleman by the name of Ashley Peacock. And he has a studio. He's taking us through life in the studio as a producer, as a songwriter, as an engineer, just giving us advice and different things as we are music students, right? So he's talking, and I'm like, oh, this guy is really cool. Like this guy is dope. Like I instantly got back to school and I was so glad that I came, right? And so Ashley's going through his whole spiel. And he's telling us all this information. He's giving us so much great advice. And he's a super cool guy. And that's where I leave it. I think nothing of it. It's just a great day. I made it to class. And I met this incredible person. But I want to pause the story for just a second. Because you know why we here. We got to get into some more music, all right? We got to get into some more music. So just pause it right there. And I'm going to get into another band that I absolutely love because these boys can go. And listen, I work with them. I've seen them live. And they got that energy. So y'all, this is the Pointless Painters Club with their joint, I Don't Know What I Don't Know. absolutely love those guys. Absolutely love those guys. They just have that certain energy, that certain rawness, that just certain underground feel that makes you they feel like the music that they make. You know, it's just that super duper dope grungy underground. Like, we are who we are. We have no apologies for who we are. So big shout out to the Pointless Painters Club. Y'all make sure y'all tap in with those guys. They super great people too. Super dope guys. Great energy. Incredible people. Now, let me continue on in my story. And if y'all can see, today is the first day of the Bacline, man. We gonna meet each other. We gonna introduce each other. We gonna tell some stories. We gonna get to know each other a little bit. So, continuing in on my story. Now we fast forward. You know, Ashley has come by. He's given a spiel. We've met him. Great guy. So I get an opportunity to do this internship I was telling you guys about that I'm getting to do a year early. I don't know how, I don't know why, but for whatever reason, Dr. Witham went on and approved some things. And there were a couple of different spots that you could go and intern at. And one of my friends that I speak about a lot on Uptown Sounds, if you have an opportunity to check out this week's episode of Uptown Sounds, head over there because I have a special story about this guy over there as well. But a good friend of mine, Kiviante, a.k.a. KHD, an incredible producer, an incredible person, just dope individual. He's also going through the internship, so he gets sent to one spot. And I remember it. I wanted to go where he went. I wanted so bad to go where he went. And I ended up being matched with Ashley Peacock. And I was like, I don't know what to do with this. I've never been in this sort of environment, but Ashley had a studio. And the studio happened to be in downtown Flint, Michigan, where I'm from. And at the studio, it was in a building that was above another spot. Right. I'd never been down here before. Growing up in Flint, there's a lot of us who've never experienced the downtown area when we were younger. We didn't get to experience that until we got a little bit older. And I was one of those ones, you know, I'm at this point, maybe 18, 19 years old, somewhere in there. So the very first day I went to intern with Ashley, I was downtown. I remember it vividly. I'm on the phone with my dad. And I'm like, yo, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where this building is at. I walked up to the building. I rang a doorbell. Nothing happened. I thought I was in the wrong spot. So day one is a complete fail. Fast forward. The second time I go, I get there on time and walk up these stairs into this studio. And it's super dope. This is really my first experience in an actual official studio where artists are coming in. And I will say this, I interned with them for probably, however long a semester is, a traditional college semester. That's how long I interned with Ashley. Some of the dopest experiences I've ever had in my life was watching him work with his artists, watching him pull from his artists things that he pulled from them. And we'll talk about this a little bit more as we, get deeper into more Bacline episodes. But I learned in that space the role of a producer, an actual producer. And myself coming from a space where I made music as an artist while I was a lot younger. And when I got older, I got more into the production side of things. But in my being in the production side of things, what I actually meant that I didn't know I meant at the time was this: I was a beat maker. I never worked with any artists. I would just sit at home and make beats. And it was great, but it lacked that human touch. And this was my first experience actually getting that human touch. And this feels like a natural space to pause for a second and get into some more music. Now, this band right here, I am such a fan of them. I work with them for years, and they are the epitome of what I believe the Bacline is. Because I tell everybody that I know, these boys got soul. They got soul in them. Like, you can take them anywhere, and them boys is gonna go. All right. And a very special moment that I shared with them was at a festival. And this was the first festival that was had at said spot. We'll get into that a little bit more later. But a friend of mine sitting in the back of the board, he's the DJ, and he puts on this super dope beat he made. He's a producer too. Put on a beat, it's vicious. And one of the guitar players for this band coming up got in on that and started playing a riff. And when I say the whole room stopped and they had the attention of everybody as we changing out bands, they took the attention of everybody, and them boys went and they came over with something on the spot. And I am talking about my good people over at Glenn. And this is their joint Lumen on the Bacline. so incredible. I love those guys. I'm such a fan of Glenn. I'm such a fan of everything that they have going on. I know they're doing big, big things. They have since moved away from my radius, so I can only show love from a distance right now. But I can't wait for the days where I can get back and go and see those guys in person again. So y'all make sure y'all show some love to Glenn out there. Super incredible band. Now, continuing on with our story here. Where'd I leave off? In the studio? I think I left off in the studio. All right. So I'm in the studio learning how to be an actual producer. Incredible time. One day, Ashley sends me and the other, I want to say it was maybe 3 or 4 of us interns all together. He sends us to go and work with him at a venue. And the venue happened to be downstairs. It was that building I told y'all I passed, that it was the downstairs area of that building. I had never been in there before. And I remember the night coming in and the place is packed out. And I'm walking in, I'm a fish out of water. I've never been here before. I have no clue what's going on. Never heard of this place. I don't know what's happening. Ashley's working the board, he's working sound, and I'm just at this concert with these guys, and it's incredible, it's dope. It's only one of the other interns showed up, so me and her kind of sticking close together because we both a little bit fish out of water, right? And this is, as I told y'all, I grew up on a certain type of music. You know, I grew up on Motown. You know, I grew up on, my dad's favorite rapper was Tupac, you know, Rakim, Eric B. I grew up on those sorts of things. You know, my favorite artists growing up were your Nellies, your Missy Elliott's, you know, your Ludacris's, Lil Wayne's. I grew up in that space. But there was always a part of me that was waiting to emerge, that I didn't know was waiting to emerge until that day that I walked into the Flint Local 432. And I was interning with Ashley as he was working aboard, and I'm seeing this punk rock show go off. And I'm like, whoo, this is incredible. This is incredible. And I remember the feeling, just the goosebumps that came from that. Something in me woke up. Something in me changed that day when I got into that space of that live world and the music was going off and I'm seeing everybody in a room and it's all happening live. And then the gentleman who was headlining that night was a guy who, rest in peace, Mr. Ty Gilbert. Incredible artist, incredible person, incredible singer-songwriter. Got on stage with his guitar and captivated the entire room. It was incredible. So now we're switching from, you know, we started with punk rock bands and now we're getting into more indie type folkish music in a sense. And it was incredible. It was incredible to experience that, where we have these different genres blending to create one incredible show. And right here, I want to take a moment to stop and play one of my favorite singer-songwriters. She has a voice that just makes me stop and say, wait, hold on, what's happening? She's incredible. I love this. I love this so much, and she's such an incredible person and such an incredible artist. Now, if you hip to my other show, Uptown Sounds, y'all have heard this young lady before. But if you not, I want to introduce you to Audrey Dupuis. And this is her joint, Leave You Lonely.
Just want you, babe. But when the morning comes and all is said and done, I gotta run away. said and done, all I wanna do is stay. You're on your knees, you're begging me to stay, and I feel so naive, but you worship me, the only one who's made me feel this way. So I gotta leave you lonely tonight, 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 so I gotta leave you lonely tonight, 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 tonight.
I have a friend that calls her baby Adele because she just elicits, I think that's the word I'm looking for. She just elicits such that feeling. You know, that feeling you felt when you first heard Adele's Hello? You know, to all of my people who was, what was the year? 2015, 16, somewhere in there, I think. If that was your heyday, that was my heyday, you know, like that was my last couple of years for high school. It's right there. So that was my hey. I remember that feeling that I got from that song. And the first time that I heard Audrey, I got that same feeling. So please, please, please tap in with Audrey Dupuis. I'm going to spell that for you, all right? Audrey, and then Dupuis, Dupuis. All right, tap in with her. She's incredible, doing amazing things, an incredible artist. That's just her voice. Like, that's how she sounds. She's great. She's great. All right, so continuing on with our story. Now, we made it through our first experiences over at the Flint Local 432. Now we're exposed to it. And while I was there, I met a young lady by the name of Tori Lawrence. And Tori would go on to be the sensei that taught me a whole lot in that world. Along with Tori was Greg, it was Sayla, it was Jay. All right, so those four right there, those four people, very important. Remember those names. So let's fast forward. It's the end of my internship, and Ashley has introduced me to a gentleman by the name of Joel Rash. Now, little did I know Joel Rash was probably the most important person in this whole ecosystem of people that I met. Joel happened to be the owner of the Flint Local 432. I didn't know this at the time. All right. There's another spot that's very close to my heart. We'll get into it a little bit more later, but it's called Factory 2. It's a makerspace. If you're not hip on what a makerspace is, just do a quick Google search. You'll find out. So there was a program that they were running for the first year. It's called Girls Rock. And they needed some instructors. So Ashley introduced me to Joel. Joel took me to Factory 2, showed me around, basically got me in on a program. You know, this is an opportunity for me to get some work, start working at that camp, the Girls Rock camp, and also working at Factory 2. This is before I knew he owned Flint Local 432. So we get to the end of my internship with Ashley, and it was great. It was one of the most amazing experiences. And we'll get into a little bit more in depth what I learned in that space and the things that he taught me. But it was incredible. And in this time, he's not only gotten me one job by introducing me to Joe Rash, but from that, I also started interning full time at the Flint Local 432 outside of just when Ashley was there. And that's where, Q Tori, Q Greg, Sayla, and Jay, Q all of them to come into the scene now. So I'm now having an opportunity to intern full time at the local. Anytime there's a show or something going on, I'm just there. I'm shadowing this, I'm shadowing that. And these are the first times I'm ever being exposed to the live world like this in any way. And I am falling in love with so many different types of music. Okay. And there was a band that I heard for the very first time during these times of interning by the name of Melodic Canvas. And when I tell you I fell in love with this band to the point that I said, you know what? We got to have them on the first episode of the Bacline. It's imperative. You got to do it. So y'all listen to this. All right. This is Melodic Canvas with their joint Image Noise. This is why I fell in love with them. Can you tell why? Can you tell why? And this flows perfectly back into the story. Melodic Canvas is one of the bands that let me know. I didn't know this was brewing inside of me. I'm a mini punk rocker. Fun fact. Like this, in essence, I'm telling you this very long, drawn out story on this first episode of the Bacline, because we got to get to know each other. But in essence, the Bacline is just here because I'm low key a punk rocker. Like, low key. You may not know it from my music. You may not know it from if you saw me on the street. You may not know. Low key punk rocker. Low key grew up a punk rocker. Low key love rock music. Low key love punk music. Low key high key. However you want to frame it, I rocks with that. I rocks with that heavy. So going back into our story, it was bands like Melodic Canvas and others that I started to see and I started to experience, and they really taught me my love for music and live music as in general. Now, it was one thing when I first started my internship with Ashley, I was very afraid of the local. As we call Flint Local 432, you will hear me refer to it as the local. It's affectionately known as that in the city. I was scared of the local because I was scared of the live world. And I was scared of making mistakes and, having people look at me. And, we'll get into that a little bit more later because I think that's a really important topic to touch on. But the thing that outside of, and you will always hear me say this, if I know the band or if I know the artist, I will always say this. They're incredible people. Behind every band, behind every artist that you hear on the Bacline is a really dope person that I can get jiggy with. I can get jiggy with them as a person. And that was one of the greatest lessons that I learned at the local was that, hey, these are all just people. They're stupid, crazy, and talented people, but they are just people, man. And they talk to you like a person. They hang out with you like a person. And they're great. They're great. So I'm interning at the local. Years go by. I'm still there. I'm training under everybody. And boom, 2020 hits. And that's a whole, we'll pick up after this song on that. Now, next, I want to get into a young man that I met in my later years at the local. And he's another singer-songwriter that I just find to be just incredible and so talented and amazing. And I'm so waiting on his album to come out, man. I'm so waiting on it because I heard some songs performed live and listen, it's incredible. And I'm talking about Kanan McGee. And this is his joint, Seasons.
Time of day instead of only this time of night. So many beautiful things I could say, but my mind doesn't let it come out right. So I write, gives me time to think. No. Honest words are spoken when I rhyme and when I drink. So I drink, gives me mind to speak. So I'm downtown rolling around, rehearsing my speech, cause each and every one's only been around for seasons. It's time we broke even, it's time you stop believing, it's time I stop going off the motherfucking deep end on who can I depend. Cause y'all just change up on me like the seasons. The seasons, yeah, yeah. You got under my skin like a splinter. We Wish you would have just stuck around. Maybe longer than just the winter. You disappeared with the snow on the ground, and I found your hair in my sink. The most honest words I've spoken, when I rhyme and when I drink. So I drink way too much, I think. Ain't no one stop me now. There's people in my life only been around for seasons. It's like I stopped breathing, I'm just not feeling how everybody's living for the motherfucking weekend. I don't wanna be friends, 'cause y'all just change up on me like seasons. It's time we broke even, it's time you stop leaving. It's time I stop going off the motherfucking deep end. On who can I depend? 'Cause y'all just change up on me like seasons. Seasons, yeah, yeah, yeah. That was probably it right there.
Yup.
Big shout out to Kanan McGee. One thing I love about Kanan is that anytime you see him, you'll see him with a gang of rappers. And I absolutely love that. I love the way that they have merged and they have grown together and they have created an ecosystem of just great artists, regardless of genre. Like, they are all just super duper great artists. You will hear a lot of those artists over on Uptown Sounds. If you haven't already, go ahead and tap in over there. Before we get back to the story, I just want to let y'all know the Bacline is a part of a bigger ecosystem called Uptown Creative Haus. It's a creative studio, okay? And within this creative studio, we have many different areas and we touch many different things. We have a distribution wing, we have a production wing, we have Uptown Sounds Radio, which is the other show. We have the Bacline Radio, obviously, which you're listening to right now. We have a clothing wing. We have a whole lot of things that we do over at Uptown Creative Haus. And there is its own company, production, everything, if you will. So you can find all things Uptown Creative Haus. You can find all things The Bacline right on our YouTube page at Maimuxic, Maimuxic. Make sure you tap in over there. Check out all of the episodes of The Bacline will be uploaded on there. And listen, this is day one. This is the first episode. We will continue to grow and expand the Bacline as things come about. We tested some things out. We got to get to know each other, all right? And then we gonna start to add different things into the story. So make sure you tap in with us over there on YouTube at Maimuxic, Maimuxic. And if you are an artist and you are interested in having your music played on the Bacline, please feel free to hit your girl up, all right? Hit me up on IG, Instagram, at Maimuxic, Maimuxic. Send me a text message, 810-853-1617, or just shoot me an email, Maya at Sonic Scout Radio, MAIYA. Tap in with me there. All right, let's get back into the story. 2020 hits, and it's a doozy. I think all of us can remember. We may not want to remember, but it was a doozy. All right. 2020 hits, and the local still wants to operate. You know, this is, at this point in time, I want to say the local had been around for 35 years in 2020. So in its 35th year, it was faced with the question of, all right, do we just kind of, walk away? How do we handle this? And what they chose to do is to do small shows, small live stream shows, where there was one band or artist or performer that would perform each week on a Saturday. And it would be like a closed set almost, where it was just myself, Jay, who I mentioned earlier, one of my senseis, the teachers, and another and very important person to this mix, Bryce, who handled everything visually, had it looking great. During these times, I got a call from Joel, and Joel was like, hey, You know, we need an engineer to come do this. You interested in it? You know, at the time in 2020, I'm like 21, 22. And so I'm living at home. I don't have no kids. I don't have no nothing, where some of the others, you know, they had different responsibilities that they had to take care of. So they didn't necessarily want to be out in the elements, you know, so to speak. So I jumped right in there. And this is where the training really took place. Okay, this is where my training really took place. I feel like this is a great place to pause things. All right. I'm going to make y'all come back. I'm going to make this a 2-part special because I've never really told this specific story, this story of the origin of the Bacline and really where it came from and what it really means to me. This is a show that was birthed out of a really important moment in time in my life, and it really set me on a course of where I am now. So we're gonna make this into a 2-part series. And if you a follower of Uptown Sounds, you know I love a 2-parter. I will pull a 2-parter out on y'all in a heartbeat. All right, get to know me, get to know how I operate. All right, so listen. The Bacline is here to stay, all right? This is something we're going to continue to grow and expand it as we go, as I've been saying. We're going to continue to make things better. This is our first edition, all right? This is just our pilot. We taking things a little bit more chill. You hearing a lot more talking from me, which you won't hear on a normal episode out there. So I want to thank y'all for tapping into this first edition of the Bacline. All right, y'all remind me next week in case I forget. I owe y'all the rest of the story, okay? Because 2020 was a doozy. I learned a lot. There was a lot that happened. There was a lot of training that had to be done in that year. And that once we hit 2020, this is when the Bacline really comes to life. That's when it really comes to life. But man, thank y'all so much for tapping into this last hour. Thank all of the listeners out there. If you just stopping by, if you just meeting me, so nice to meet you. If you a fan of my other show, Uptown Sounds, I appreciate you. Thank you for showing love to me. That's why we family. That's why we gang. As the kids say. Big shout out to Sketchfall. Big shout out to the Pointless Painters Club. Big shout out to Glenn, Audrey Dupuis, Melodic Canvas, Kanan McGee. And this next band bringing us out is one of my favorites. You will hear them once again on the Bacline. You're going to hear them a lot on the Bacline because I like them, all right? And that is my good people over at Living AI, and this is their joint, Shadowverse. I love y'all. I'm going to see y'all next week. Peace.
You tell me to wait, and I'm waiting and waiting.
sides of the